Wait, so let me get this straight. We're gonna put kids on stage and judge their bodies next to other kids' bodies. And then afterwards, if they ask for feedback, we're gonna tell them why their body's not good enough to win. Not only is that wrong and potentially dangerous for the children, but that's a straight up perverted act. Boom! Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com CEO, MTS Nutrition. Pumped up, fired up, ready to rock and roll. Anyway, I was on my Twitter page last night and this morning. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it's at Marc Lobliner, the verified. You can see the check mark, right? And I had a bunch of people blowing me up about this. Let's see if we can focus in. Watch. Focus. So, the NGA Kids Division being featured at the NGA Pro-Am Universe. By the way, the NGA, I believe, stands for the National Gymnastics Association. It's a bodybuilding organization. It's a natural, tested bodybuilding organization. I believe you only have to be drug-free for 1 year, if I'm not mistaken, and really nobody cares about the NGA, but nonetheless, I care about this. Here's the bottom line. Nobody even knows what a natural pro card is anymore, because there's 15 of them. Like, my buddy just won his IPE pro card. I didn't know that existed. Turns out that used to be the WPA, used to be the IFPA, which used to be associated with OCB, which used to be a WPA. Then you got some other shit. I'm just confused. Anyway, see, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's grow this division and give a positive and healthy experience to the next generation of fitness enthusiasts, bulimics, orthorexics, anorexics, and women with severe mental and physical and eating disorders. I added that in myself. Oh, where to begin, where to begin, where to begin. For the record, here's my credentials on why I can speak on this. Number one is I have a brain. Not a huge brain, but I have a brain. Number two is I'm a parent to athletic children. My little man Thomas, man, he has a six-pack shredded back because he trains for sports. He's an active kid. My daughter is an elite travel soccer player. You know, my other son, Preston, he can wipe his own butt. He's 4, and I'm really proud of that fact. So that gives me credentials. Also, I'm a mediocre pro bodybuilder, but I am a elite mediocre pro bodybuilder. So like you have like the best of the best Phil Heath, right? And then you got like the guys who are lower, like the guys who place like bottom 5 in the Olympia. Then you got the guys at like the Europa shows who place in no place. Then you got the next guys who are mediocre. I'm at the top of that. Very top, tip top. Anyway, I've also judged over 50 bodybuilding shows. I was VP and co-founder of the ANBF, which is a natural bodybuilding organization. I've probably donated through my 2 companies I've owned, Scivation and MTS Nutrition / Tiger Fitness, more money than any other company has donated since 2004 to natural bodybuilding. So I have a lot to say. I've competed at NPC. I've been competed at the Arnold Classic Amateur. I know and I love bodybuilding, okay? I also have kids, and I know and I love kids. And I've also done videos about the dangers of competing. I've myself have put my finger down my throat and thrown up, not because I need to get leaner, but because I binged so much after a show, between being hungry, depleted, and emotionally just wrecked from getting a judging result I didn't quite agree with. You know, I ended up eating the whole left side of the I seriously ate every appetizer on the Outback Steakhouse menu, ate some ribs, then dessert, and then I had to puke it up because I couldn't function with all that food sitting here. It was so uncomfortable. I did it again with sushi after another show. It is what it is, you know. Bodybuilding and fitness is a very, very, very emotionally, mentally draining, and you have to be very strong. I've known a lot of people who have wrecked their marriages, relationships, ended their relationships over it. I've known people who've lost jobs over it. I've fired a person in the past due to contest prep, making them not a bad person, but just a shitty employee. I love the sport, but I understand the risks it takes. Like, if you're playing in the NFL, you know that running head first into another man who weighs 300 pounds. When you weigh 300 pounds, you're both running under the 4.8 and the 40-yard dash. You know that's dangerous. So those getting into bodybuilding and physique realize, unlike that NFL guy, you're not getting paid anything. Unless you're in the top 3 in the world, or unless you're an Insta-ho or an Insta-bro and you're making a ton of money just doing, you know, ancillary stuff and advertising and sponsorships. And even then, sponsorships are few and far between, especially from supplement companies, because unless you have a huge social media following, there's really no return on investment to sponsoring professional athletes. So let's get back to kids bodybuilding. Number one is body image issues. We've gone over that. You have a kid who's already going to go through some severe issues growing up. For example, when my daughter was very, very young, she had a digestive disorder that caused her to have a distended stomach. And I remember she was so self-conscious about that. Even to this day, she wears loose shirts. She will not wear a tighter shirt or a shirt that has any, even though she's got flat, muscular abs, she plays center mid on 3 soccer teams. She's running 25 miles every weekend, at least, playing center mid. So I get it. She just played a game last night. Ran more than I've ever ran in my life in that one game. But she has those issues from when she was a kid. Now, take into consideration, now you have a group of 7 people judging how you look against kids your age of your peer groups. How do you think that's going to make you feel? And I know you're going to, well, what about pageants? Well, I'm sorry. Last time I watched Little Honey Boo Boo on whatever crappy channel it's on, I wasn't thinking, wow, that's a healthy and supportive upbringing. I was thinking, no, that's a self-absorbed, horrible upbringing, and those parents are horrible people. And I don't like the pageant lifestyle. I know you parents who are all into pageants, you're going to hate me for this, but I don't think it's good to have a kid subjected to how they look on stage. Let them be kids. Let them enjoy themselves. You hear all these stories about kids committing suicide around the country because kids are making fun of them. Now they make fun of them off the friggin' grid. Now they're going on social media. It used to be you get made fun of at school, you go home and you play with your brothers and sisters, right? Not anymore. Not anymore. Now you go home and these kids have their phone. I won't let my daughter get Snapchat or any social media for that reason, because now they're going to get blown up on social media, and now you have teen suicide rates going up. We just had a kid commit suicide down the road in St. Charles, 8th grader. An 8th grader. My daughter's in 6th grade. It's real, guys. I don't see this as being a healthy mental activity, a healthy physical activity for children, because here's the thing, if a kid's not in tip-top shape, you have the risk of parents pushing them so the kids start dieting. Do you really want your kids to give up corn dogs and hot dogs once in a while? Yeah, my kids eat clean 90% of the time. My kids know what healthy foods are, but they're still kids. They'll still enjoy ice cream. What if you get that negative, positive food response from kids? That's just not healthy. That's not good. That's just preposterous. And here's the deal. Dieting for kids, I get emails all the time. In fact, you go on my Instagram, my YouTube live, my Instagram live, you have 14, 16-year-olds like, you know, what should I do for bulking and cutting? For a kid, I recommend eating the healthiest food choices possible. You know, whole healthy foods, fruits, veggies, things like that. Lean meats, unless you're a vegan, of course. You know, one of those things. And then I recommend just controlling that and exercising. You're a kid, go out, have fun. My kids don't sit back and play Xbox all day. All summer, they even, I kid you not, they burned, there's a hole in their soccer net. They used it so much outside. Encourage your kids to be physically active. Exercise is good, but you're gonna tell a kid you need to get leaner? So that gets me into another thing, judges. After a bodybuilding show, you go and you get critique from the judges. Every time I went up, even though it was always, a judge's go-to, if they don't know what the fuck to say, is always like, your hamstrings need to be tighter. You guys notice that who've competed? What do you say to a kid? Let's say a 10-year-old girl comes up to you, Mr. Judge, what did I do wrong? Why did I not win? What do you say? Hey kid, you're fat? You need to lose more weight? You're not pretty enough? Can you imagine being a judge giving that feedback? I'd love to talk to you NGA judges and find out how the fuck you're gonna do that. I wouldn't give any advice. I'd just be like, oh, come on, sweetie. Let's go get some ice cream. Like, what kind of heartless fucking judge would critique a fucking 8 to 10-year-old? That gets me into another thing. Anybody see this as a little bit perverted? Like, a little bit fucking weird? Like, you got a group of 7 to 9 grown-ass people, adults, critiquing a kid's body? That's some fucking Scooby-Doo van shit right there. You know, that's just weird. I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. I don't want any friggin' adult judge looking at my kid's body. I mean, as an adult, as a full-ass, grown-ass adult, yeah, that's great, but come on. You're really gonna judge the body? The body? Like, at least in pageants, you have like, okay, she's gonna sing. She's gonna dance. There's a talent portion. You're literally subjectifying a kid's body. objectifying a kid's body. You're doing fucking objective and subjective. Terrible. Disgusting. Disgusting. And it all comes down to desperation. Bodybuilding, natural bodybuilding, nobody even knows what natural bodybuilding is anymore. I've done videos about this. There's 10 different pro cards. They need people to go to this show, so they've come up with this kids pageant. Okay, I gotta tell you this. I will still sponsor, I'm gonna be at Paul Ravella's show on November 11th. I'm gonna be there in Tampa Bay, Tampa, Florida. I'm gonna be there with my entire family. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have little events. I'm gonna shake hands, kiss babies. I'm gonna be there, hand out trophies, because Paul's a good friend of mine. And honestly, we're going on a Disney cruise afterwards because it's gonna be fun. And I'm like, dude, why don't we do this when we have the show? Because I need to give Paul some love. I'm still gonna support the hell out of natural bodybuilding. I'm still gonna support the hell out of bodybuilding. I'm still gonna support the hell out of the competitors. But let's get this one thing straight. Paul's a good friend of mine. Leif Anderson's a good friend of mine. These guys are promoters. They're great guys. Ray in DeKalb, Illinois, great guy, puts on an amazing show. But they know this as well as anybody else. I don't give a fuck about Paul, Leif, or any of the other promoters. I don't care about them. Yeah, they're my friends. That's separate from them promoting. I care about the competitors. I care the competitor has a good time, because bodybuilding, at the end of the day, I love the sport. I'm critical of the sport because I love the sport. And a lot of people go, oh, you always diss bodybuilding, you're a sellout. I'm like, no, I love it. And that's why I don't like seeing over classes. I don't like seeing dilution of the product. I don't like seeing politics with Mannion and JM Mannion and all those weirdos out there and Steve Weinberger shaking people down. I don't like that stuff. And this is separate from bodybuilding, but it all ties in. This is a disgrace, NGA. You should be ashamed of yourself. Friggin' kids, you're gonna be judging kids' bodies on stage? Is this what it's come down to? You're gonna be judging kids' bodies on stage? You don't think that doesn't bother you at all? That you're gonna be telling a kid that they don't look as good as another kid? That doesn't bother you at all that you're gonna have a kid potentially develop body image issues? That doesn't bother you? I'm out of here. You should be ashamed of yourself, NGA. That's not a game.